That's the reason my brother and I bought the company. It's not because of the business it is today. It's all the opportunity. I mean, we're making 10 million calls a year. Imagine how many conversations we're having with business owners. Most companies back in the dot-com boom got away from call centers, right? So all those conversations are no longer had. Well, we have that now. We still have it, right? It's actually interesting. Harbor Freight used to be our direct competitor, and they were doing exactly what we're doing today. We still do the same thing, but they went online. Right now, they're $1 billion business.
What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible. I'm joined by Kyle Stearns. Kyle is a serial entrepreneur. He has an industrial supply company. He also helps finding off-market deals. It sounds like, Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, you've done some business funding. You've done quite a few things, and it sounds like we have the same target audience, which is, blue collar guys. I love the blue collar service-based businesses. Man, tell us about what you're up to. Tell us about your various enterprises that you have.
Sure. Yeah. So the largest company that we have is an industrial tool and supply company. So we sell industrial tools and supplies to blue collar businesses throughout the United States and Canada, and even the Caribbean island, actually,
Hmm.
but not a whole lot down there. And so it's mostly smaller operations that we're supplying to, but we've got hundreds of thousands of customers, all business owners. And we sell hand tools, power tools. We've got branded stuff like Milwaukee, Bosch, DeWalt. We have our own brand. About 75% of our sales are probably our own brand. And so that operation, I have 250 employees. 155 of that are sales reps making heavy outbound calls. So it's a boiler room environment. And so that's the big one. And because of our large customer base, we're looking at different ways we could serve our customers, because selling tools it's transactional. Sure, it helps the company. Do they really need the tools? Sometimes, us guys, we like to buy a lot of tools we don't need, right? So like my garage is full of tools that they're just collecting dust, right? So it's still great though, because they use it, but we wanted to add more value and really reinforce the backbone of the United States. I love my country. I'm a patriot, and I wanted to figure out how we could do that. So we started looking into different opportunities, and one of my mentors told me that, why don't you convert your cost centers to profit centers? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Let's start offering what we do as a service. And so that's how the BPO and what I'm calling GPO, growth partner operation or outsourcing, started. And so essentially what we're doing is we're offering our services. So whether it be revenue generation, collections, customer service, bookkeeping, recruiting, any of those things that businesses might need, and quite frankly, a lot of my clients do need, we're offering as a service. And so this year, we're really going to focus on the revenue generation part, though.
Okay, so you said something earlier that I want to double click on. You said it's a boiler room environment. Are you normally when I think about that, I'm like, that's bad. Like, tell me what you meant by that. Like, is it just you guys really train your sales staff to do things a certain way, or like what? Like, what? Tell me about the environment.
Yeah. So have you seen the movie Boiler Room?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I love that movie.
Vin Diesel, he's in that movie, right?
Yeah.
Well, Vin Diesel used to work for this company.
Huh.
And yeah, a long time ago. My father started this company 43 years ago. He retired about 7 years ago. My brother and I have taken over since. I remember when I was a little kid, I would come in and draw tattoos on Vin Diesel's arms with like a marker, you know? So anyway, there's a scene in that movie where he's like, Abrams, put it on the board. Well, Abrams was one of our top sales reps for the longest years. He was working with us until actually last year. And so it's a lot of that movie was based on our business.
Wow,
Yep.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting.
So your target audience, like, is it because these are the guys I talk to, HVAC guys, plumbing guys. Are you calling on those guys and trying to get them to buy more tools, or are you helping, construction guys, get access to the tools they need to do a job? Like, what does the typical client look like?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all of the above. Really, any business owner that's using tools for their business, we're calling to sell. And so it's a lot of cold calling, a lot of new lead generation, things like that. And it's like I said, it's transactional, and that's not really my style. I like to build relationships with my customers, and that's why we're introducing all these other new ways to serve them, because I want to be more involved, make a bigger impact, help these guys grow their businesses. But that's what we do. Yeah.
Incredible. And then you had a couple other things. You had um, tell us about some of the other businesses you have.
Yeah, so that's the growth partner one. So that's the outsourcing one, right? So we have that, and we also have some larger commercial clients in that. Where, like for example, one of the customers we have, we're ramping up to have 100 agents. They they do tech support for like breathalyzer installs in the car. So when someone gets a DUI, they have to get a breathalyzer installed into their car, right? So we have that's one of our clients. And then aside from that business, we're doing the off market business sourcing for buyers. We represent the buy side. So we're business brokers representing the buy side. And so essentially what we're doing is just using what we're good at, getting out there, calling, lead gen, finding business owners that want to sell their business, whether it's our customers or we're just cold calling customers. And if they do, we go through a whole process and we bring them to our buyers, which we have over 400 buyers right now in our network, and essentially introduce them and make the deal happen. So,
So you took your existing call center environment and you just added another offering,
right.
basically.
Yep. And that's the reason my brother and I bought the company. It's not because of the business it is today. It's all the opportunity that we have because we're making 10 million calls a year. So imagine how many conversations we're having with business owners. Most companies back in the dot-com boom got away from call centers, right? So all those conversations are no longer had. Well, we have that now. We still have it, right? It's actually interesting. Um, Harbor Freight used to be our direct competitor, and they were doing exactly what we're doing today. We still do the same thing, but they went online. Right now, they're $1 billion business. So that was that was interesting. My father definitely kicks himself for that, not going online. But I think now we're in a unique position to leverage what we have to go out and build these relationships when there's a gap in that. Most companies they don't really have relationships with their customers on a large scale, and we have the opportunity to do that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you feel like, Kyle, is going really well in your business right now? What are some challenges you guys are facing?
So the biggest challenge is developing new salespeople. It's tough in this market, and that's why we pivoted to other revenue streams. Um, and so what's going well is all the new success we've seen with these new businesses. We're generating more leads, more partnerships, getting more referrals. So all those successes of seeing what we do happen in another business and generating all the success is really exciting for us because, for me, I was really born in this business. So I don't know any different. I think everybody knows how to do this, but that's
Yeah.
not the case. And
Yeah.
so it's been really cool to see that happen.
This episode is brought to you by Pierre Tax and Accounting, led by CPA Eric Pierre, a seasoned accounting and tax expert with years of experience helping individuals and businesses navigate complex financial landscapes. Whether you need personal tax planning, business tax strategy, bookkeeping, or financial planning support, Eric and his team are committed to helping you protect and grow your financial future with clarity and confidence. To get expert guidance you can trust, check out Pierre Tax and Accounting at pierreaccounting.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high income business owner or professional, and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. Let's talk about AI for a second. How are you guys integrating it into your business?
Yeah, we're for sure behind on that. We just started working towards integration with AI, like on large scale. So we were going through an ERP conversion for the last 2 years. We spent $1.3 million on this conversion just to realize that we're moving to a technology that's outdated. And so now we're moving to a different company that's kind of developing these new CRMs specifically for our business, and they leverage AI to automate a lot of things. So we're doing a lot of that. The problem, though, with really leveraging AI in our business is all of the outbound calling. We can't use AI to do that. It's very illegal, and if for TCPA compliance, we take it very seriously. And if you violate that, you're talking about a $1,500 fine per call retroactively. So what they're doing is putting companies out of business that are breaking the law there. So we're just not willing to do that. And plus, I think the blue collar business owners like to talk to people, and
Yeah.
so we don't want to kind of get it would just essentially outsource or eliminate the entire human experience that we're leveraging to build these other companies, right? So it doesn't really make sense. But we're definitely behind on AI generation
Have you
or AI
considered
use.
just out of curiosity, have you considered doing any of that overseas, like having call centers overseas, people in other countries calling on these potential clients?
Yeah, so our growth partner, our outsourcing business is located in Tijuana, Mexico. We have some employees in the Philippines, but we prefer Mexico because there's a lot of people that live there that were raised in the United States. Maybe
Yep.
they came at 2, 3,
Tons.
4 years old, but then got deported or moved back to Mexico, and so we hire those folks, so they sound like us, right?
They do.
They're on the
Yeah.
same time zone, and so it's been great working with that, with them down there. So we have operations there now, and that's what we're leveraging for that
Yeah.
business.
Tell us about the story of buying I think I remember seeing one of your posts on Facebook. You talked about how you used to be kind of in the like a tech or something more like lower level, and you saw an opportunity. Like, talk about the decision to actually buy the company and how you kind of put that deal together to acquire it.
Are you talking about the tool business?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my brother and I we really weren't sure if we wanted to buy the company because we had different visions, and we were thinking, okay, well, how can we get to where we want to be with this company? And so going through that process with our father was unique. He wasn't going to give us any discount. He was tough on us, and after it's all said and done, we actually overpaid for the business. So it was an interesting dynamic, but the reason we decided to buy it again was because the potential. So we have this platform, this machine that's generating 40 something $1 million a year and has all these employees that are really great. How can we get it to the next level where we're at, 100, $250 million? And so with this vehicle, with our reach, making 10 million calls a year, the opportunities are almost endless. I mean, our problem is there's just too much opportunity. So that's why we bought the business because of all the opportunities. Now we built out our team, we had to restructure our whole management team so that it could run without us. We've got to that point last year. And so now it's time to bring in these new businesses and leverage our platform to scale those. But that's kind of, it wasn't really much to it, honestly. It was just a little bit of negotiating. And that was a little bit of the reason why we did it.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you feel like your company needs the most to get to where you want to be, and where do you want to be? I can tell that was a good question because you're pondering it, and I like that when I get the guy to stop and think.
It's to get where we want to be, we need tech, that's for sure. And because we've been operating using technology that's very outdated, that's been a big lift for us. But I think we found the partners that know what they're doing to help us. So we're pretty happy with that. We're testing three different uh, companies that are building AI tools for us right now. I think that's the biggest thing because, we have the people, but if the systems aren't ready to scale, then we're never going to get where we want to be. Where we want to be is we want to be at that $200 million mark. And I'm very confident we could get there because we have like an insurance play that we're very interested in. All of our customers have insurance. They're required to have it by law, right? And so we want to offer that, but we need to have the systems in place to be able to launch that business too. So, um, yeah, technology for sure. That's the
How are
biggest thing.
you, out of curiosity, where are you guys getting the leads from? Do you pay for like a lead engine? Are you doing paid ads? How are you generating the names of people to actually call?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different techniques to find data online. A lot of We know how to find pages that aren't indexed on search engines like Google, or if you search up this stuff, it won't even pop up, even if you put the exact phrases in of this web page.
Yeah.
And so we've done really well with that, and we've got 13 or 14 sales managers that know how to find their own data as well. And so all that data gets funneled into our system. And so we have access to all that data, right? And then on top of the 750,000 customers I have in our database that have bought from us over the years. So we have all that data as well.
What's the key to a good cold caller?
No fear. Well, let me put it, I guess really that's the answer for what's the difference between a good cold caller and the best is no fear. The
Yeah.
best salespeople are not afraid to ask for money. They're not afraid to talk to anybody. That's the biggest difference. For a cold caller, for just a good cold caller, you can't get emotional. It's really hard calling anybody and getting rejected for a lot of people. They're scared to do that, right? You just got to brush off and move on to the next. It's not personal. I mean, I'm sure you guys get cold calls every day. I do. I certainly do. And I don't take it personal and I say no all the time. So those guys that have that hustle and they see the opportunity and they like to, it's one of those eat what you kill mentality, those types of people, they do really well. It's that hunter mentality as opposed to the farmer. So those guys do, and girls, we have some killer girls that are just absolute beasts in our business. In fact, our
Oh,
top performing room is all women. They're incredible.
hmm, I had a follow up thought on that, but it escaped me. What's a good day? 100 calls, 200,
300.
300?
Yeah. But we have
Dang.
technology to help you do that, right? So it's not,
Yeah.
it used to be 100. Yeah, it used to be 100 calls you'd have to make to get one order. Now it's about 2 to 300 calls to get one order.
Yeah.
Yeah, for at least,
Yeah.
a new salesperson.
Yeah. Kyle, what's one thing we haven't talked about today that gets you fired up? Could be totally unrelated to business, or it could be related to business.
I
A hot
think
take. Go ahead.
what's happening in the blue collar space is gets me fired up.
Yeah.
Everything that's happening, there's so much growth. I know there's a huge shortage in labor, but all the M&A that's happening, I believe there's going to be a huge blue wave that's about to happen because of all these white collar jobs are about to be eliminated. They only have one place to go, really, and that's blue collar. Where else are they gonna go? They're not gonna jump into another job that's gonna be eliminated in the next 5 years, right? And so, I'm really fired up because 'cause we're in an amazing position for all this to happen, right? And, what I really like to do and what gets me going every day is helping people. And so, helping business owners, helping seeing them happy because they're reaching numbers they haven't reached before, seeing them grow, that stuff just fires me up. I mean, there's nothing better
Yeah.
than that. I could do it all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that, man. Yeah. I'll never forget when I fell in love with the blue collar space. When I was a financial advisor, I had a husband and wife couple coming to one of my workshops, just salt of the earth people. They never questioned my fees. They weren't watching CNBC, you know, and dude, they crushed. They made like $1 million a year. Just like did everything I asked them to do. I was like, how come all my clients can't be like these? And that was when I fell in love. I was like, I want 100 more clients like this.
Right.
And that's it, man. I'll go to the ends of the earth for the blue
Yeah.
collar
I mean, don't get me
folks.
wrong, there's a lot of just like any industry, there's a lot of people that are stubborn and they
Yep.
can't get out of their own way. Then that's the biggest problem with these, owner operator business owners. They can't get out of their own way. They are the bottleneck. And they got to get out of the weeds because that's the way to scale. If you're trying to do everything and you try to be perfect, I'm a recovering perfectionist. I was a loser because of it. It took me forever to do anything, right? And
Hmm.
so you just can't get to market, you can't scale. You're unhappy with your employees because they got only to 85% when you want 100. It's so unrealistic, right? And so for the longest time I had those expectations, and I see that in really any business owner, but because we're working with blue collar, I see that a lot. But you just got to delegate. Train them, delegate, and accept 85, and then you'll get to maybe 90, 95 through some more training. But they're never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
No one is.
You're speaking my language, man. So we do a lot of things, but one of the things we do is executive assistants, primarily in the Philippines. And these blue collar guys never have that. And they can't comprehend someone overseas like being in their inbox and taking things off their calendar. So whenever I have a call with one of them and they're like, I don't believe you. I just have Angela, my executive assistant, hop in. I'm like, dude, she'd be 300 grand for like the value that she brings to me stateside, you
Right.
know? And so I love watching a guy's eyes light up when they see that, possibility.
Yeah. And the
Um,
beauty of helping the blue collar guys specifically is that everything that you do to help them reinforces the country. I mean,
yeah,
they are the backbone of our country. We could get by without Twitter and all this
yeah.
technology, but we cannot get by without the blue collar workforce. We literally cannot. We will all die, or the majority of us will, especially in LA. We're all we're all screwed, And so I love helping them. Like I said, I love my country, and so it's just special to be able to do that.
This episode is brought to you by 10x Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10x Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker: they only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. What is a hack that the blue collar guys should know about tools? What's one little nugget or hack that you can share that will help those guys?
There's really not a whole lot. I think that one thing a lot of people don't know for like Snap-on, obviously they're great products. They're overpriced. They have an industrial line that has really good tools that people don't really know about, Williams, but there's really not a lot of hacks in the tool space. There's really not. It's so straightforward, right? That it's not just, yeah. It'd be more of like financial stuff that they could, improving their financial
Maybe
situation.
don't get into mountains of credit card debt to buy tools potentially.
For sure, don't do that.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, a lot of our clients like to hide things from their wives,
of
you know?
course. Yeah.
Don't do that because they always find out, and, maybe that's the hack.
For me, it was records. Actually, I had a buddy borrow records. So that was for me. I had to have my friends hold me accountable to not go into record stores because I just love. So yeah,
Yeah, for
that's
me, it's fishing equipment, fishing tools.
yeah.
Yeah, that'll get me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Where can people find out more about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, add me on Facebook, Kyle Stearns. You'll see my headshot on there. I don't really have any other socials going on, but I'm pretty active on there, and I'm gonna be more active. And so a lot of the business deals that I'm gonna be sharing are gonna be up there, so you can see those, and a lot of the other opportunities. So yeah, follow me there.
Well, thank you for coming on the podcast. Don't go anywhere because I want to keep talking, but thanks for coming on the show.